everyone, welcome to the channel, Nick the Gardener. So I've just come up today to add some more leaves to a leaf mould. I'll turn you around, let you have a look at it. So it's been sloped on that side and you can see all the moisture's down there. I was thinking about turning it into this middle bay, but I know I'm going to start getting some other compost material soon, and plus I've still got to dig a little bit out of that out and add it to this other compost bin, which is shrunk down even more now. You can see my little Hobbit Air X1 there, but most of the leaves what I collected from a customer's garden, it's got a little bit of ivy in it and stuff, but the leaves have all got mycelium and fungi all over them and they're quite damp. So rather than turning all this and just wasting a load of energy and time and creating a bit more trouble by not being able to turn my other compost into air, I'm just going to add these other wet leaves onto these drier ones on this side here, but I'm going to give it a bit of a watering first. So I'll just get that done now. So anyway, today I've got some clay, which is from my house, from the garden obviously, not from in the house. But yeah, basically when it rains, because it's all sat on clay, there's no drain there, so it can get up to about an inch or two deep in water. So I dug like a little sinkhole, so that, well, soak away I mean, so that it can get under, well, percolate down through the soil a bit easier and get away. It's obviously going to fill up that hole before it floods everywhere else. So those two recycling containers, I've got, you know, about that much amount of clay in each of them. So what I intend to do with that, because I've got sand and silt on my allotment, and the compost what I put down, it never really lasts that long. I mean, compost's supposed to, you know, before it's completely depleted and gone, it's about 5 years. So compost is never really finished, it just keeps carry on breaking down until it's completely gone. So I can put quite a lot of compost down on my plot, and within 6 to 9 months it's looking quite bare again. It looks like all the compost has been taken down into the soil by the worms, etc. And yeah, it seems to just get absorbed by the soil really quickly, so that's why I'm always putting compost down. But a good way to make your compost stay around for a bit longer, especially if you've got sandy, I mean, you don't want to do it if you've got clay soil obviously, because it's just going to make it worse, but because I've got a sandy loam here, loam with a bit of sand in it and not much clay at all, what I'll be doing with this, I'll be mixing it in with a bucket of water, make it into sort of like a sloppy mixture, and I'll be mixing it in with my compost in sort of layers, and I'll probably be doing that when it's a bit more of an active pile, rather than doing it sort of now. When I start to get more grass clippings and turn it and stuff, I will start mixing it through basically, and that's just to help the longevity of the compost, like I say, and to maybe improve the soil a little bit by adding clay. Most people want to get rid of their clay, but I want to get a little bit more incorporated in here, just to hold on to the nutrients a bit better, and maybe, you know, like I say, the longevity of the compost. A lot of these leaves, like I say, have already been decomposing down. I've raked them out from the customer's bed, or I wanted me to tidy up for them. Got some ground cover hypericum mixed in with it, but it was all amongst. So I mean, there's a lot of fungi on here. Oh, it's a bit big, that bit, look there. I can go in there. Yeah, I don't want any big bits of ivy in it. I thought most of it was just leaves. But yeah, there's quite a lot there, really. Let me get my glove on, see what's my other glove, so I don't get my hands too dirty. So yeah, just going to keep adding to this pile as much as I can. And there's like a little bit of nitrogen in there with this green stuff. So that'll help it decompose a bit quicker. Get that ivy out, the bigger bits anyway. And any bigger twigs, but you can see the mycelium on there. Well, I hope you can. A bit more ivy and a bit of holly. So that's the first bag. I might get some more water on that, because some of it is a bit drier than I thought actually. Hopefully this other bag will be a bit damper, a bit more wet. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, so I don't know what happened then. The DJI tracking device isn't perfect. But yeah, only bigger twigs like that. Just going to get out for now. But that's filled that up again quite nicely. I mean, to be fair, probably could have just added that as a compost mix, but when I start getting a load of grass clippings and stuff in a couple of months, I can add some of this back in with the grass clippings to sort of equal it out, balance it out, so it doesn't go too anaerobic. But that'll do for that for now. Just going to get the cover back on. I better move you, otherwise I might break it. So that's the leaf mould sorted for now. There are 2 extra bags on there, a couple of extra watering cans full of rainwater. No, sorry, not rainwater, tap water, but it has been out, I presume, for quite a while because there's nobody else here using it. Yeah, so the water supply what we've got is not too far from my plot. I just walk across the neighbour's plot, which I don't mind. I did wood chip the paths for them last year, and I do cut the grass for them around there. But yeah, the water gets dispensed into a big trough, and there's a few watering cans around. So yeah, it does let the chlorine evaporate before we get to use it, especially this time of the year when nobody else is around. But sometimes it can be frozen. So yeah, I forgot to mention in my last video that yeah, water's included in the price. I got an email through the other day. I did put a little post up to say that it had gone up to just over £30, which is actually £6 more than what I put on my post. But yeah, we've got access to another source of water just over here. I don't know if I can point to it just down there. Yeah, so got another trough of water just there, so it's not too bad. We've got, you know, 2 water sources fairly close to my plot. But there's no shop here. Sometimes we get free wood chips. We get manure, but we have to pay for it. I've had it a couple of times. It's about £4 a barrel load, something like that. But I was a bit sceptical about using it the first year. So what I did is I just piled it all into a Dalek, let it compost down for a bit. I'll move her down a bit, I don't know if you can see the Dalek just down here. Yeah, but so I put all the horse manure in there, let it decompose down for a while. Then I planted some bush beans and some peas in it, and hopefully, well, that's a good method to see whether it's got any aminopyrrolid weed killer in it, which can survive the composting process and everything, survive going through the cow or the horse's stomach and that, or any animal's stomach, and come out in the compost. So yeah, I tested it first and it was all fine, so I spread it around mainly on the garlic bed and put some in the worm bin. But I didn't get any this year, sorry, last year. But yeah, I just got a load of compost anyway, so it just seemed a bit of an extra cost what I didn't really need to pay out for. So the garlic started to come through now. I'll have a look at that. So down here in my container of garlic, the 6 soft net came up, you know, a couple of weeks after I planted them really. They're not looking the best or the healthiest, they're a little bit yellow. We had quite a lot of cold weather and frosty weather after that bit of heat what we had. But as you can see here, well, I don't know if you can see that, there's one there, there's a little tip just coming through there, another one there, and one there. So there's still one more to come up somewhere around here, which is about what happened last year. And the ones that didn't come up before Christmas all managed to get onion white rot. We did have a real mild bit of weather last summer just before I was going to harvest them, and I think that's what triggered the white rot really. So if my onions and garlic are starting to look pretty good this year, I think I will be harvesting it if we get, you know, a mild, humid spell of weather. I think I'll probably take them up a bit earlier rather than keeping them in a bit longer. So this is my straw bed bed. Look at the state of that. But around the edge here, I've got to be careful because I've got some crocuses and some daffodils coming up around the edge. I think there's some snowdrops somewhere actually, which possibly along this edge. So I hope they can break through all the wood chips what I've got coming up. Yeah, so hopefully they'll come up along here. I've got to deal with these soon. But you can see down here the birds are all flicking around little wood chips. But yeah, that looks a bit of a mess. I'm going to take out quite a lot really, and thin them out considerably, I think, get into a bit more of an order. I saw Steve's seaside kitchen garden, and when he got his strawberries planted, he put the runners to the outside so he knows which ones to take out, which I thought was a good idea rather than just having them everywhere. And I watched Steve's programme because I watched Pete at Trinmouth. He was doing early strawberries in hanging baskets, which I think is a really good idea really. I haven't got it. I haven't got my greenhouse up yet, which is going to take me a little while longer than expected. But yeah, good job Pete, well done. I hope you get some early strawberries. Right, so this garlic in here, this nearer cloche along here isn't coming up at all yet, but the other garlic, the soft neck in that far one's doing okay. Green manure bed's doing okay. Some of the beans actually have been hit by the frost, but they've been in there for quite a while now, and a lot of the times if they die off like that, they'll send out another shoot called tillering. So obviously I've got some more broad beans around here, so I'm not too bothered if I get hammered a little bit, as long as I've got a few left over for crop. But they're all going to be, all this is going to be terminated in here, possibly in the next month or so. I've just noticed I've got a little hole here that they're coming into this other green manure bed. I thought that might have been a molehill just here, but I think because there's a scrape mark just there, it's probably some sort of animal poop under there, so I might have to try and get that out at some point. But yeah, got beans in here, Phycelia, I think there's a bit of clover just down there, and just here look, which fixed nitrogen. The calendula, hammered a bit by the frost, but not too bad. The onion bed over here, they're coming up quite nicely now, the onions. Still not many weeds in here, but I think the mole has come up just down there, so I've got to keep an eye on him. But the onions in here are looking pretty good. They're coming up all right. This bed, which is going to be where my no-dig potatoes are again, this had about a foot of compost on it last year, and it's already started to be bare around the edges here a little bit, and over this edge over here. I think this is where a mole came up, so he brought a little bit of topsoil up with him, but most of it now has been terminated by the frost. So I mean, I don't mind if one or two survive before I cover it with compost, because I'll probably prick them out and plant them in the flower section of the allotment. Sorry. Maybe try and save some seeds if I can for next year. Now this bed here with, well, this part of the bed's got nothing in. This has got a bit of Phycelia and some broad beans in again. The Phycelia seems to have fared a bit better on here. But this is probably going to be Three Sisters bed next year, I think. I did Three Sisters in this bed over here a couple of years ago, and it was amazing. Worked really well, but you have to get your timing spot on. So I'll probably be trying to do that again this year, if I can. This bed, with the beans in. Obviously not many beans, it's a bit sporadic. I'll probably keep that row of beans in along that back edge there, if they survive. I mean, that one's had its tip burnt a little bit, but the rest of them are not looking too bad really. I mean, there's a bit of a gap at the end there. But yeah, probably have peas and bush beans in here. I don't think I'm going to go over tall beans this year. I might do. Depends how much space I've got for everything else. I haven't really planned anything yet. I haven't sowed anything yet. So this bed, got the flowers in the corner here, which hopefully will come back. It looks like it could do a little top up of compost actually, because I can see the roots of that echinacea there. But yeah, it looks like I've got lots of seedlings of the honesty, which is this money, I think it's a money plant or something, I can't remember, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, things going all right really. The broccoli bed here is well, that one there particularly is very sad looking, but it still is producing little spears. I mean, that one actually looks quite good in there. Quite happy with that one. So yeah, broccoli is the result. Stella, from Stella's Vegetable Garden, I'll put a link and the correct name if I've butchered it on the screen now. I'll put a link in the description though to Stella's channel. She's pretty good really. Compost, worm farms, hydroponics. Pretty good channel to watch really. So I'll put the link in the description. If you haven't checked the channel out, please check it out and maybe give it a subscribe. Yeah, so that's a quick look round the plot on this side anyway. The compost, the temperature is actually gone way down now. So it's in the blue, which is steady. So that's going to be left there now for a little while until I get some grass clippings or some coffee grounds or something to mix in through with it. There's not a lot of point turning it at the moment because, like I say, it's not going to get hot again. It might get a little bit of temperature in if it needs the air. I mean, there's quite a lot of weight in there, so it could have knocked all the air out of it. I mean, turning it would help, but at the moment, I think what I'll do is I'm going to get some grass clippings. I'll lay it on this one in the middle, and then start turning that in on top of the grass clippings. And yeah, hopefully that'll help it decompose down a bit quicker. And like I say, then I'll add a bit of this clay to it, and you can always cap your compost with clay as well, actually, rather than mixing it in. That stops any off gassing, keeps the heat in. But I want to mix mine really well through. So the beauty berry here, little Calicarpa Budinii Profusion, has got some little tiny berries on just there, not a lot. I've added some more of the J-Down fertiliser mix to the leaves in the single seed potato containers. That's just basically to help rot down those leaves on top and give it a bit of a nourishment, a bit of nutrients, a bit of bacteria and that. Asparagus bed, got a few weeds coming through, some couch grass which I'll need to get out before it gets entangled up in all the asparagus roots, which would be a nightmare to get out. Well, you won't be able to get it out basically, you just have to keep chopping it and cutting the grass down, hopefully it'll weaken it. But yeah, flower bed, complete mess still. Fruit bushes here, I need to get that grass out at the back there. I think the screen's going a bit foggy again, so I might have to end this video now. Chicken wire, yeah, that's going to go underneath the single seed potato competition. And I've got a bit of extra fence there just in case I need some to make a big potato container. I will be adding some compost or maybe some leaves into here in the next month or two once the temperature starts to rise, which is my big worm farm. There's nothing really in there at the moment. Obviously the rainwater's still going through and it has washed a bit of leachate out the bottom, so I will be adding that in a minute to the potato bin. So this camera's a bit like gorillas in the mist, isn't it? If you can, is it still following me, or you are? Yeah, so this is just going to help the leaves compost down and give it a bit more bacteria, inoculate stuff. Hopefully beat Robert. Right, so that's about it for today. Thanks a lot for joining me. If you've got anything from the video, please give us a thumbs up, consider subscribing. If not, just give us a thumbs down or whatever, but have a good weekend. Bye bye.